A small gland buried deep within our brains has captivated the attention of ancient societies. Imagine a tiny organ nestled within the folds of your brain. It's about the size of a grain of rice, and if you were to see it, you might notice that it bears an uncanny resemblance to a small pine cone. This is your pineal gland, a fascinating little piece of your anatomy that has left its mark on history. Tucked away in the epithalamus, between the two hemispheres of your brain, the pineal gland serves a vital biological function. It's the production center for a hormone you might have heard of, melatonin. This hormone plays a pivotal role in regulating our sleep patterns, informing our bodies when it's time to wake up and when it's time to wind down. But the pineal gland's role extends beyond merely producing melatonin. It influences the secretion of sex hormones and even has receptors for a neuropeptide known as endothelin-1. It's a tiny powerhouse exerting influence on our bodies in ways we're still beginning to understand. Historically, however, the pineal gland has been subject to a fair amount of misunderstanding. The ancient Greeks, for instance, believed it to be a valve, controlling the flow of thoughts, much like a tap controls the flow of water. This belief, while incorrect, illustrates the mystique that has surrounded the pineal gland for centuries. But the Greeks weren't the only ones fascinated by this tiny organ. From the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of India, the pineal gland, or the third eye, as it's often called, has been a subject of intrigue, reverence, and sometimes even obsession. But why did this tiny organ intrigue our ancestors so much? Let's delve into the annals of history to find out. Our journey begins in the land of the pharaohs, ancient Egypt. Here, the pineal gland, a tiny endocrine gland in the brain, was symbolized by the pine cone. The Egyptians believed that the pineal gland, or their pine cone, was the gateway to enlightenment, a path to the divine. They associated it with the third eye, the spiritual eye that provides perception beyond ordinary sight. Just like how a pine cone only opens when it is not being observed, the Egyptians believed that for one's third eye to open, solitude was essential. This notion was deeply rooted in their spiritual practices and teachings. They held the view that in the quietude of solitude, away from the distractions of the world, one could truly focus on opening the third eye. This enlightenment was seen as a sacred experience, a communion with the divine that transcended the limitations of physical existence. But why the pine cone? The Egyptians, like many ancient cultures, were keen observers of nature. They noticed that the pine cone opens to release its seeds only when it's not directly observed, echoing their belief about the third eye opening in solitude. This observation led them to use the pine cone as a symbol for the pineal gland, a metaphor for the process of enlightenment. The pineal gland was a significant aspect of ancient Egyptian culture, a symbol of spiritual awakening and a testament to their advanced understanding of human anatomy. They perceived the pineal gland as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, a key to unlock the mysteries of existence. The Egyptians were not the only ones fascinated by this gland. Let's travel to another ancient civilization. Next stop, ancient India, where the pineal gland held a different kind of significance. Buckle up for an exciting journey into the mystic East. In the rich tapestry of Vedic philosophy, the pineal gland takes the form of the ajna, or third eye chakra. The third eye symbolizes an inner eye that sees beyond the ordinary, a doorway, if you will, to the higher realms of consciousness. It is considered the seat of intuition and spiritual wisdom, an energy center that, when opened, ushers in a new perspective of reality. Ancient Indian seers didn't see the third eye as a physical entity. Instead, they perceived it as a metaphysical organ residing in the middle of the forehead, slightly above the junction of the eyebrows. It's fascinating to note that this location aligns perfectly with where the pineal gland nestles in the brain. The ancient Indians developed various practices to stimulate this gland, or rather, awaken the third eye. Meditation, for instance, is one such practice that has been passed down through generations. The practitioners would sit in silence, focusing their attention on the third eye, visualizing it as a radiant orb of indigo light. This process, they believed, would activate the ajna chakra, leading to heightened intuition and spiritual enlightenment. Yoga, another ancient Indian practice, also plays a crucial role in stimulating the pineal gland. Specific poses and breathing exercises are thought to direct the flow of energy towards the third eye, nurturing its activation and bolstering inner wisdom. These practices were not seen as mere routines, but as integral parts of daily life. They were the keys to unlocking the door to the universal knowledge that lay beyond the physical realm, the path to achieving a state of blissful awareness. These practices are still prevalent today, revealing the timeless allure of the pineal gland. Leaving the East, we now venture into the realm of Western philosophy. Here, the pineal gland takes on an equally mystical yet distinctively different role. It was the 17th century philosopher René Descartes who described the pineal gland as the principal seat of the soul. Descartes, often referred to as the father of modern Western philosophy, held a unique view of the universe. He saw it as a mechanical system operating according to physical laws. But when it came to the human mind, Descartes believed in a distinct duality. He proposed that the body and the mind were two separate entities, interacting with each other through the pineal gland. In Descartes' view, the pineal gland stood as the intermediary, the meeting point between the physical and the spiritual. It was here that the mind could influence the body, and vice versa. Descartes' choice of the pineal gland was not random. Unlike most of the brain, which is divided into two symmetrical halves, the pineal gland is singular, centrally located, and isn't duplicated across the brain's hemispheres. To Descartes, these characteristics made it the perfect candidate for the soul's dwelling place. Descartes' philosophy sparked debates and laid the groundwork for countless philosophical discussions on the mind-body connection. His theories became instrumental in shaping the Western understanding of the self, consciousness, and free will. Descartes' identification of the pineal gland as the seat of the soul also led to a heightened interest in this tiny organ, encouraging further exploration and study. However, it's important to note that Descartes' theories were not universally accepted. Critics argued that a physical location for the soul, a non-physical entity, was problematic. Despite the criticism, Descartes' views have endured, continuing to influence philosophical and scientific thought to this day. The fascination with the pineal gland transcends time and geographical boundaries, as we'll see in our final stop. Fast forward to the present day, where the pineal gland continues to intrigue us. This tiny pine cone-shaped organ tucked away in the recesses of our brains is the subject of ongoing scientific research and spiritual exploration. In the realm of science, researchers are delving deeper into the pineal gland's function as the producer of melatonin, a hormone that plays a crucial role in our sleep cycles and overall health. However, it's the gland's potential role in spiritual experiences that truly captivates our collective curiosity. It's postulated that the pineal gland could be responsible for profound moments of intuition, creativity, and even mystical experiences, though concrete evidence is still elusive. This fascination with the pineal gland isn't limited to the laboratory or the meditation mat. It's found its way into art and popular culture, often symbolizing enlightenment and higher consciousness. From surrealist paintings to science fiction novels, the pineal gland, or third eye, is a recurring motif. It represents a gateway to the unseen, a bridge between the physical and the metaphysical. But let's not overlook the phenomenon of pineal gland calcification. It's a condition common in young adults where calcium deposits form on the gland, potentially affecting its ability to produce melatonin. Some believe this calcification hinders our spiritual development and our ability to connect with higher states of consciousness. Modern lifestyles, rife with stress and poor nutrition, are often blamed for this calcification, leading many to seek ways to decalcify their pineal gland. From ancient societies to the present day, the pineal gland has remained a potent symbol of mystery and enlightenment. Whether we're dissecting it in a lab, painting it on a canvas, or meditating on its spiritual significance, the pineal gland continues to captivate, challenge, and inspire us. So we've journeyed through time, exploring the enduring fascination with the pineal gland. From the sands of ancient Egypt, where it was revered as a gateway to enlightenment, to the philosophical musings of the Western world, this tiny gland has captivated minds. In ancient India, it was seen as the seat of intuition, the third eye, if you will. Even in modern times, we're still unraveling its secrets, its role in our sleep patterns, and its potential influence on our consciousness. Next time you see a pine cone, remember, It's not just a simple seed carrier, but a symbol of an age-old quest for enlightenment and the mysteries of the human mind.